The New King of Atlanta, Part 5. As the holiday break approached, Zane found himself at a crossroads. Miami still held a piece of his heart, but Atlanta was offering him a fresh start and new opportunities. Tito kept sending him messages, and Zane's old life seemed to be pulling him back. He knew going back to Miami would mean facing the people and the struggles he'd left behind. But staying in Atlanta felt like abandoning a part of himself. One evening, Zane sat with Uncle Malcolm hoping for advice. What should I do? Miami's my home, but things are getting better here. Uncle Malcolm leaned back in his chair, taking a moment to think. Home isn't just where you came from, it's where you're building your future. But only you can decide what that looks like, Zane. Zane appreciated the wisdom, but it didn't make his decision any easier. Zane turned to Jada next, hoping for more clarity. Miami's your past, but it doesn't have to define your future, she told him as they sat on the bleachers after school. Look at what you've built here. You're not the same person who left Miami. Don't let guilt pull you back. Jada's words hit Zane hard. She was right. He wasn't the same kid who had left everything behind. But could he really just leave that part of himself in the past? As Zane wrestled with his decision, Marcus sensed something was off. What's up, man? You've been distracted, Marcus said during basketball practice. Zane explained the pull he felt between Miami and Atlanta. You can't move forward if you keep looking back, Marcus said bluntly. You've got something good going here. Don't throw it away. Marcus's words echoed in Zane's mind. It was becoming clearer that Atlanta was his future, but the guilt of leaving Miami behind still gnawed at him. Just when Zane thought he'd have to make the decision alone, Tito showed up in Atlanta. Surprise, man. Thought I'd visit you since you can't seem to make it back to Miami, Tito said with a grin. Zane was happy to see his old friend, but also felt a tension he couldn't shake. As they spent time together, Zane realized just how much they had both changed. Tito was still living the same life, while Zane had grown beyond it. One evening, Zane and Tito sat on the porch of Uncle Malcolm's house, reminiscing about the good old days. Man, things aren't the same without you, Tito admitted. But I get it. You've got a new life here. Zane hesitated for a moment, then spoke the truth. I miss Miami, but I don't think I belong there anymore. Saying it out loud felt like a weight had been lifted from his chest. As the holiday break neared, the basketball championship was on the horizon. Zane and Marcus had led the team to the finals, and the entire school was buzzing with excitement. Zane realized how far he had come. He was no longer just a new kid, he was a leader. The game was intense, but in the final seconds, Zane made the game winning shot, sealing their victory and proving to himself that Atlanta was where he was meant to be. After the championship game, Zane sat in the locker room holding the game ball. He knew what he had to do. He pulled out his phone and sent Tito a text. Thanks for coming, man, but I've made my choice. Atlanta is home now. It was hard to let go of Miami, but Zane realized that moving forward didn't mean forgetting his past. It just meant building something new. The next morning, Zane woke up feeling lighter than he had in months. He had finally let go of the internal battle between his old life in Miami and his new one in Atlanta. He had friends here, a family that cared about him, and a future that was wide open. He wasn't the same kid who had left Miami, and that was okay. As Zane walked through the school hallways, his teammates high fived him and Jada smiled from across the room. Marcus gave him a nod of approval, and even Uncle Malcolm had softened. For the first time since he'd arrived in Atlanta, Zane felt at peace. He had realized home isn't a place, it's where you feel you belong. And now Zane knew exactly where that was.